Welcome to another session of I Don't Look Like What I've Been Through with EJayShonte. I am EJayShonte, and today's therapy session is FaceTime, that real hard look at self. Through the healing process, I had to learn to take a very good look at myself, which was not fun. Though I love myself, I do have a lot of personality traits that are not the greatest personality traits and that needed to be changed. So I started with a list of the toxic personality traits that I knew definitely that I had to get rid of, and then a few of the toxic traits that I had decided to keep because I needed them for survival. I just had to learn to maintain my part of my emotions when I get the responses that I don't like in order to be a better person for myself, if that makes any sense to you. So anyway, I made this big long list of these things that I just know that I have problems with. I lack empathy. I have a smart mouth. My sarcasm is ridiculous. I can be petty. I cannot like a person for some of the simplest reasons. And instead of me taking the time to get to know that person, I automatically start acting like the way that I feel about that person. And I don't even know anything about them at that time. I had to change it because it gives you such a wall that you have built up that when you actually meet genuine good people, you block them. And you block them because you're an asshole. And then instead of taking time to realize that you might just actually be an asshole, it's easier to blame everybody else for why you act the way that you act. And at the end of the day, it's you. Well, at the end of the day, it was definitely me. And that's not to say that I don't feel like I've ever been approached or talked to in a manner that I feel like, I didn't need to defend myself. I'm just saying there were a lot of situations where I could have just shut my damn mouth and it would have diffused the whole situation. Because at the end of it, the person still thought what they wanted to think about me. I still thought the way that I felt. Nothing got resolved. And I'm a resolutions person. I don't believe in just leaving things undone, except for with my husband, and I just figured out we'd work that shit out at another time. But for the most part, I'm you gonna accept me how I am kind of person, or you just can't be part of this circle that I have. Now, one of the things I did talk about a lot is when I detached myself from the rest of the world. I shut off all my social media. I shut off everything. The first 30 days was a little hard, but as I started twinkling back into the mainstreams of the society, I decided that when I picked friends this time, I was going to pick friends that were able to deal with me and my madness, me and my crazy. I don't want anybody in my circle where what I might say or what I might do might offend you to the point where you so damn offended, you mad at me, you don't want to be my friend no more, or anything like that. I need people in my circle that know the foundation of me is love. The foundation of me is I really do care. The problem with me is sometimes the shit that come out of my mouth don't sound like I do, but I do. So my circle of friends have to be able to be strong enough to take all 5 of my crazy ass personalities plus the real one and still not hold a grudge towards me and how I act and what I do, because I also give them the free reign, because they are my close circle, to chin check me. I have chin checkers. My friends are my loves, they best friends, they girl best friends, they boy best friends, they big sis friends, them are my loves. The little circle that I have don't have a problem telling me, bitch, you was out of line. Now, mind you, they defend me to the end in public. Now, if I'm doing something I ain't got no business doing, I might get a tug on the shirt, or I might get one of them looks where they scrunch their eyes and shake their head no behind the person's back to give me some kind of indication, because they know me well enough to know where I'm going not to do it. So I need them in my life, and my circle is very small for that very reason, because I am not the easiest person in the world to get along with. I can admit that, but I don't see that as a quality or a flaw that I have. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great deflector. I think it keeps people who are full of bullshit the fuck away from me, because they already know I ain't going for it, so they just don't bother with me. or even if they feel like they ready to argue about some shit that don't make no sense, and they know it don't make no sense, they leave me out of it because they know once I get started, I got some shit to say. So anyway, let's reflect back on me. My changes. I had a bad attitude. I lack empathy. I talk too much. I am aggressive. And I'm not talking about the strong feelings that I have when I'm talking about something that makes me passionate. No, I have aggression. Like I have that personality trait that sometimes I feel like I'm defending myself, so I take a whole nother tone to a conversation when it ain't even necessary, and that rubs people real bad the wrong way. Well, anyways, these are some traits that I know that I had to correct. Now, when you're making those kind of changes, please keep in mind, people don't forget about who you used to be. So just because you've made changes, don't have this expectation that people are going to just embrace this new you that you call yourself. Know that you still gonna get a whole lot of pushback from a whole lot of people. Because I remember I've been doing this for years. I didn't start fixing on myself really, really good until maybe 3-4 years ago. So I know that leads to like 40 years of a whole lot of burned bridges and a whole lot of people that still ain't gonna like your ass. And just because you run across them, don't mean you gonna get to say is, I'm a new person. And they're gonna be like, oh, bring it in. That ain't how that works. They still gonna try your ass, and they gonna think your change is fake too. So they will also push a few of them buttons they are familiar with to see if your ass responds the same way that you say that you don't respond no more. I've gotten pretty good with this. Now I do have to admit I've gotten pretty good with this because one, I moved out of Indiana. I'm down here in Florida. It's just me and my family, and the people that I connect with don't know the old me. I tell them about the old me. Some of them have seen little glimpses of the old me, but I'm very honest with them about why people had a hard time liking me. And I give them that up front because I like disclaimers when they come to me. Let me let you know how I really am before you walk into this. Did the same thing with my husband before we met. Let me talk about who I am before we start this relationship, because there's a few things I need to make sure that you understand about me that can get on people's nerves. I got OCD. I complain a lot. I'm bitchy at times. There are some days where I will just get on your damn nerves because I nag. I'm a nagger. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a nagger. But I was upfront with him and honest with him about who I was from the beginning because I wanted the relationship to start off with straight truths because I really did like him. 3 months of good long conversation let me know that I wanted to be with that man. So in order for me to make it successful, even though I didn't know him like I wanted to know him, I still felt like it was only fair to him to let him know what's wrong with me. Oh, and when I start taking him around my family, honey, they let his ass know all of it. She can't cook. The bitch crazy. I'm talking about my one sister, the last sister that we met, had to tell him, now, you sure something wrong? You sure you know something wrong with her? And he's like, oh yeah, I can handle it. She said, good. I'm not telling you this to warn you. I'm telling you this because when the bitch gets to acting all crazy, don't get to calling the family talking about, you know what she did? We gonna tell you right now, we already know what that crazy bitch did. We just don't want no parts of it. So it's not like we went into it not knowing. And he did me the same way. He was very upfront and honest with me about who he was and what he was willing not to do. So it was a great way to start off, and I'm glad I did because it's like also one of the best decisions that I've ever made about being honest about myself, because he was one of the first persons that I trusted being myself and seeing what would happen because he was married to me. Basically stuck with me. So, I mean, the only way out of it at that point was a divorce. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go for the gusto. I'm just going to give him the worst of who I am and let's see what happens. I had somebody to do that with. I have a place where I'm not bothered by nobody. I have a place where I can shut off the whole world and not be bothered. You know what I'm saying? To be able to work on that part of myself that I needed to work on. It was not easy for me. Okay, so let me tell you how bad mine was. Mine was really bad. So I'm gonna give you an example of a situation that happened back when I used to go to church in Indianapolis. I used to go to Zion Community Church, and I love that church. That church is still the best thing that has ever happened to me, and it's mostly because of the pastor and his people, and they embraced me with my heathenism and all. They took my crazy, I ain't never been to church really kind of person in, and they let all my quirks be okay. But that wasn't true for other parishioners of the church. Anyway, one day I was talking to a girl that had happened to be dating my ex-husband, and we all went to the same church. She knew that was my ex-husband. Hell, she used to be in my youth ministry and ended up getting wrong and getting with my ex-husband. Now, mind you, I knew he was with her, but I didn't care. On top of that, he didn't belong to neither one of us. He was still married. It didn't even matter. It was like we both doing something we ain't got no business doing, so whatever. Anyway, let me get back to the story. Her mom comes out of the church sanctuary to see I and a couple of other girls are standing around in a circle talking. And what her mother didn't know is me and her were not having a conversation. She was actually talking to another girl, but her mother felt that she needed to come and let her daughter know, you need to be careful about who you associate with in church, because as she glanced over at me, some people ride in right with the devil. Now, mind you, we are in the church in the North Act, and I am very mindful of all the places that are sanctioned by God. I love God, so don't get this twisted. But my problem is people will have a problem with saying things to you and think because of where they are safe to get that slick shit off their chest. Me, I'm not one of those people. I don't give a damn where we at. I'm going to tell you how I feel. So I have to politely respond to her. Some people ride in here with the devil, and this is my true, honest response. I got receipts, and I got a girl that you can call, because Kia had to drag me out of church during this conversation. So since she said the devil comes in, you never know who the devil comes in with church, and I looked at her politely and I told her, she's right, because it looked like he rolled right in on your shoulder. Your ass just sat in that church, listened to pastor give that beautiful sermon on people and how we need to be better towards one another, and you was hollering amen and hallelujah, and then you come bring your ass right out here in this North X where we standing and having a conversation and making an accusation towards me. First of all, let me clear some shit up so you don't have to never worry about what I'm saying to your daughter. First of all, he's married. He don't belong to me nor your daughter. He may be dating your daughter. That may be his boo thing right now. But honey, he got a whole wife, a whole kid, and 3 of mine. Now, to add to that, his ass so far behind in child support, honey, I don't even want his ass no more, and he owe me. So you ain't got to worry about me coming up to your daughter, confronting her about no nigga that owe me this much money that I already know is married. And let me add that he is far behind in child support. Honey, I hope he do get with her so she can split them bills in their household with him, so that some of that check can come and take care of these kids he done left me with. And when I say left, baby, he is in prison. You are out here arguing the rights and the defense of your daughter's honor over a man who is married, has 3 children that he owes a whop of child support for, and is currently serving a 2-year sentence in Marion County Jail. You should really, really think who you defend. So the next time you come out here and you ready to talk to me about some shit you don't know nothing about, baby girl, you better get your whole mind right and know the whole story. By this time, the Northeast is in just pure quiet, so all you hear is my loud ass cussing, echoing ass voice, and somebody runs to pastor, come out quick! Somebody done upset Alicia. She in Northeast going crazy. See, that's how they explain you. They ain't say shit about what that lady said to me, but I'm in there snapping, so they go get him. I'm thinking, so what is this, a scene from Lean on Me? Mr. Clark, somebody up there beating up Kid Ray. The fuck? So here comes the pastor, come grabbing me, talking to me, and he was never an aggressive pastor or never a pastor that passed judgment. He just took me out of the situation. My friend Kia is trying